Well, good morning, Unity of Music City, and welcome to the sanctuary. On behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill. That's Jackson, that's Candy, that's Mary Grace. We are the Sanctuary Band. We're going to get started this morning first by turning the music off. There you go. And then we're going to start off by singing two songs back to back. These are two of our favorites. So I expect you to raise the roof this morning. Let's get our energy up. Let's get it focused on having a great service today. Let's start out with Swing Wide the Doors.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right.
Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about.
It's about love.
It's about laughter. It's about comfort and smiles. It's about love.
It's about kindness. It's about
Hearts open wide.
It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love. It's about service. It's about lending a hand.
Lending a hand.
Swing wide the doors. The time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
There's a voice that I've heard for years. I've learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper life.
It's about love. It's about laughter. It's about comfort and smiles. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about hearts open wide. It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love. It's about service. It's about lending a hand.
Lending a hand.
Swing wide the doors. The time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors. good.
I'm feeling good down in my soul, yeah.
God is so good.
Oh, feeling good down in my soul, yeah.
God is so good. My God is so good to me.
Every day in every way.
God is so good.
Every day in every way.
God is so good.
Every day in every way.
God is so good. My God is so good to me.
And in my time of trial, I know
God is so good.
in my time of trial, I know
God is so good.
In my time of trial, I know
God is so good. My God is so good to me.
And when my day is over, I know
God is so good.
When my day is over, I know
God is so good.
When my day is over, I know
God is so good. My God is so good to me.
When is it? Every day in every way.
God is so good.
Hey, every day in every way.
God is so good.
Every day in every way.
God is so good. My God is so. My God is so. My God is so
Good to me. My God is so good to me. Thank you. That's one way to get the energy up. Thank you so much. All right, let's give our kids a blessing as they go to their little program. That's okay. I'll say a line. You can repeat it after me. Youth of Unity Music City. Youth of Unity of Music City. We see you. We see you. We love you.
We love you.
And we bless you.
We bless you.
You're a shining star for all to see. You're a shining star for all to see what your life can truly be. What your life can truly be. And so it is.
Good morning, Unity of Music City.
Good morning.
A long time ago, I read this book called Healing Words, and it's about prayer. And Ryan and I were out last week, and we were watching a live stream. And within 5 minutes of Deb saying, we hold prayer and thoughts for Ryan and Frank, within 5 minutes, we were both able to breathe and stop coughing. So your love and your prayers are really appreciated, and they really work, So I just want to say thank you. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is, I elevate my perspective and see the presence of the divine. The world can feel cold sometimes, especially when I take my mind off of the divine presence that dwells within me and focus on the external. When I focus on competition instead of cooperation, discord instead of harmony, separation instead of unity, exclusion instead of inclusion, I can feel my world growing small and my joy leaking away. When I see the world from my human perspective, I may find it difficult to feel hopeful. But when I see the world from my authentic self, my divine self, my perspective shifts, and rays of hope, optimism, and joy start to appear. Shifting my focus to the things that are really important allows me to see the divine presence in everyone and in everything. That's not to say that I turn away from the more difficult aspects of life, but when I elevate my perspective to include my spiritual side, I can discern a greater truth. I can see the comfort beyond the pain, the blessings beyond the struggle, and the love that binds us all together. When I filter my life through my spiritual perspective, I see the world as it can be, not as it is. I hold the high watch for every member of my human family. I see the divinity in all of creation, the wholeness of life, and the oneness that binds us all together. Now please repeat these affirming statements after me. I am grateful for the spiritual journey. I'm grateful for the spiritual journey that I am on.
I am grateful for the spiritual journey that I am on.
When I filter my thoughts and experiences through my spiritual side, I can live my life more authentically.
I can live my life, thoughts and experiences through my spiritual side. I can live my life more authentically.
I elevate my perspective, and I see the presence of the divine in all creation.
I elevate my perspective and see the presence of the divine in all creation.
And so it is.
Well, good morning, everyone. So happy to see you here on this beautiful May Mother's Day. How many of you have time to spend today with your mothers, whether they are on this physical plane or not today? You plan on spending some time with your mothers? Absolutely. Doesn't matter whether you can see them or whether you're not, because they're always with you. Absolutely. We honor the divine feminine in everyone here, including myself. That's right. And I wore my pink today to prove it to the world that I am honoring the divine feminine.
I can.
Hi, Barbie. So welcome to Unity of Music City. We call ourselves a place for authentic transformation, and that means that we offer you a safe space, a sanctuary here on this property to come and learn about your spiritual side. All of the fun places to explore that's going to take you in your lifetime are too numerable to mention, but just know that this is a journey that we're all on together. And that's what we're all about here at Unity of Music City. So thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing your energy to play with ours. So I think we've got some announcements. Speaking of vibrant spiritual community, Julie, I looked at you.
No music, no dancing, just me. Okay, I'm going to set this right here, though.
Go right ahead.
So I do have one sign. It came in my dog's bark box. And I love that. You'll find I'm full of surprises. So I needed to add that. And we all are, right?
Oh.
So, and I also have a quick script and a little surprise for you real quickly. Instead of dancing and singing, it'll go into the word form here. So, and I put it in script so I could not forget and keep it short as well. So happiest of Sundays to you, Unity of Music City. And happy Mother's Day. A bit more to say on that in just a minute. I have just one sign, which I showed you. And instead of doing the dancing, I'm going to get ready for a poem and read to you that I wrote last night. So let me get that.
The poem required an outfit.
One more thing. dandelion in there too, I think. I was doing some weeding. But yeah, I feel like you have to have a scarf to read a poem and a hat. So sorry. Thank you for playing along. A beret. So I'm in my poet space now.
Thank God she didn't have a
And
pipe.
Right. I didn't have hemp rope, so I do have some pool rope in there. I'll put that on later. All right. But anyway, I'm not a professional actor, but I play one in real life. All right. So I dedicate some of this poem to my mother, who was kind-hearted and unbelievably generous, supportive of my talents. And she was an accountant, so she always prayed that I kept my finances in order. And as I read the poem, you'll see that I'm really on that path. Good mothers protect, and she did just that splendidly. And from the realm that her spirit is now residing, she is still protecting me. And thank you, Mom, and thank you to all good mothers. We love you. We appreciate you. So thank you. So now for the poem. And a few years ago, 5 years ago, I gave myself a promise ring. I'm going to put it on that finger for a while, all right? And here's the poem. So, and I know we hear if you believe it, you can achieve it. I wish that wasn't, people would not wear that out like they have, but it is true. So I'm calling this Believing, Receiving, and Achieving. And I don't know what the type of poetry it is, Reverend Deb, but I stick with something simple with the rhyme and that kind of thing. So here we go. It's not too terribly long. Arising in the morning, feet touching the cool wood floor, having visions of the adventures ahead with no limits of what's next to explore. Tumble out of bed, stumble in the kitchen, pour myself, oh, wait, wrong one. Thank you, Dolly. But I definitely pour myself a cup of ambition every day. Heading to work after I put out the trash, the weather is getting hotter. Nope, it's just a hot flash. I sat still in traffic with the greatest of ease. The winking woman parked next to me is being a tease. Oh. I arrive to work early and greet the office cat. Garden center life, it doesn't get much better than that. Retired, insured, half-meal home, and more. I'm proud to have a spectacular credit score. Mom. All right. In my 58th year of life, and damn, it feels good, to have so many blessings. Oh, it feels great. There we go. And to have so many blessings filling my plate. Finances growing steady, and there's much more on the way. Time for mind-blowing excursions, and I'm ready to play. Grateful for my talents, my family, and my friends. I'm an artist, sculptor, writer, poet, composer, musician, singer, dancer, cosplayer, actor, performer, designer, gardener, creator, educator, learner, joker, and midnight toker. And the fun never ends. Surround yourself with only positivity and love. Avoid those with parasitic behaviors and let them seek help from above. Choices you make are revealed in time, and the right path you take makes you feel absolutely sublime. Do I live and love intensely? Bet your I do. I have no regrets. I will have no regrets when my life is through. Treating myself and helping others, that is my plan. Living, learning, loving, that's life, and it's, well, I'll ignore the adjective, but it's grand. So so it just rolled out. You know how that does, and words just roll out, and that felt good to say. So about moms, again, thank you so much. And we all know the phrase, Mom supported me, and not just athletics, but life. And again, dedication to our moms. We know that phrase, win some, lose some, although I don't believe some things are lost, but just a lesson, right? So, quick story, 8th grade, basketball team, lost a team that was less talented than us. And I took it personal, the fact that I thought I let my team down. I thought I was hiding my tears on the bus ride back to school, but my amazing and caring coach, also a mom, because we get that support from other mothers. She came and approached me after we got off the bus, looked into my eyes, and she reassured me. And you see, it's emotional because it's carried with me for a long time there. But she reassured me that it was certainly not my fault. And she said, in athletics, you get that sometimes, right, in that guilt. But she said, it's certainly not my fault. And she said that phrase, Julie, we simply win some and we lose some. But there's a divine reason for either outcome. That has stayed with me forever, and it will. So tonight, She said, tonight will only make you better. Work harder, Julie, and something much better is on the way. So thank you, caring mothers, and those that are not our biological mothers that are also guiding us, our divine mother. Thank you. Thank you. And the feminine energy and our fathers as well, but thank you on this special day, our moms, and all the guidance and protection you guys give us. So, and we give each other. So, yeah. So anyway, I can be serious sometimes. All right, so here we go with announcements. Ready to rock. So Safe Paw Saturday. SAC lunches. Volunteers can use the QR code to get to the Safe Paw site for meal volunteers. This site allows you to sign up to make sandwiches for their Saturday SAC lunch delivery or to help deliver lunches in the Madison-Goodlettsville community. Sandwiches can be any kind and in any number, 10 to 50. You can expect between 1 to 4 hours for delivering lunches, but they will accept whatever time you can give. Please see Sarah with any questions. And Sarah, thank you so much. This is such an amazing project that you head up every time. Thank you for all that hard work. And she's a mother. Yay. All right, so pause and practice with Reverend Deb on Mondays at 6:30 via Zoom. 40 minutes of sharing and questions followed by 20 minutes of practice, meditation, centering prayer, mindfulness, and various spiritual practices. And that's a glorious surprise every Monday. So thank you, Reverend Deb, for that and the things we do. Move, Groove, and Meditate with Steph and Deb. Join us this Thursday, May 16th for Move, Groove, and Meditate. Connect with your soul and let it flow through dance, fit, and gentle yoga. 6:30 to 7:30, and the cost is $20. Full Moon Gathering coming up Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Join us for the Flower Moon. Yay! Flower Moon here at Wren Road. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website, weekly happenings, Google Calendar, or you can always email the church. You guys have just an extraordinary week. Thank you and bless you.
All right. It's time to sing again. Oh, is anybody else? Oh, yeah. Deb, come on. Give the floor over to Deborah Champion.
Thank you. And happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. Personally, I know what a life-changing event that is, and learning event. Anyway, I'm here to talk about the pond. So I have analyzed the situation that we have. It is professionally created. It's beautiful. However, we don't have pumps and filters, and it'll be about $250 to buy those. So I've been researching, this is my book, on how to maintain a natural pond. We do need a little aeration, so if anybody has any kind of air pump that we could put into the water so the fish won't die, I would appreciate that donation. I have put some plants in it, so we also need some water plants, because the more plants we have, the more oxygen we have, and the fish will live, and it will be balanced. The whole purpose is to keep the algae out of it. And if your oxygen and carbon monoxide are balanced, then there's no algae, and it's beautiful. We can also use some ornaments, some ornamental, like meditating frogs or whatever, herons or flamingos
Angels.
even, or angels.
Yeah.
There's a Buddha out there, but I have to bring it back inside because it's really an inside thing. I took it from the front room, and it has a little space with its hands, and the water collects there. So I have to bring it inside. So I need some of those ornaments. Also, I need plants that are going to go to the back of it, because if I can get the back of it planted up, we don't have to weed eat, we don't have to mow, and the poison ivy will go away. So that's my goal this summer. Tom is going to help me take down some branches because we need more sunlight on it. Let's see, what else do I need? A tiller. If anybody can loan me a tiller or will volunteer to come out and do some tilling, it's a whole lot easier to get rid of all those weeds and poison ivy if I can till them under. And I've spread some Roundup back there. I'm not one that likes to use poison on anything. I'm all about natural, but we've got to get rid of the poison ivy. So I've got some Roundup spread. The Roundup is going to be kind of nullified pretty soon, and I'm ready to till, but I'm ready to till this week. So if anybody that's watching can do that, please let me know, and I will be here this week to help you out. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That proves my point that Unity of Music City is 100% volunteer-led, and everything that we do comes from you. So just keep that in mind as you're considering all of these great ways to volunteer your time and talents and all that good stuff. All right, you ready to sing again? All right, let's sing. It's time for a new monthly mantra, and today is a song that you may have heard on the radio before. It was on the radio. It was in the top 40 there for a little while. If you're 84 years old. No, I'm kidding. Hasn't been that long, but it's been a long time ago. But this is a John Denver song, and this was requested by our very own Rev. Deb. So we want to learn it today. It's a very simple song, but it has a very deep, profound meaning. I don't know when the first time was that I heard this song, but I was a child. And I remember from the very first time that I ever heard this song, it immediately incorporated into every cell of my body and every fiber of my being. And from the first time that I ever heard this song, I memorized it instantly, and it became a part of who I am. So let's stand up and learn Sweet Surrender.
1, 2, 3, 4.
By many, remembered by few, looking for something I can believe in, looking for something I'd like to do with my life. There's nothing behind me, nothing that ties me to something that might have been true yesterday. Tomorrow is open. Right now it seems to be more than enough to just be here today. And I don't know what the future is holding in store. Don't know where I'm going. I'm not sure where I've been. There's a spirit that guides me, light that shines for me. My life is worth the living, and I don't need to see the end. Sweet, sweet surrender.
3 ohms, and thank you. With each one of those, let's surrender a little bit more. Whatever comes up, let go of it. And take a deep breath. And with the next one, inhale. We set everything outside the door. We come into this interior space, this emptiness, this spaciousness. With nothing to distract us. We hold on to nothing here. Everything exterior to our experience. Our relationships, our job, our responsibilities, even coming here. We set it outside the door. Everything interior to our experience. Our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, our talents, our identity, our history. Story. We set it all outside the door. Don't worry. You can pick it back up again. Even our spiritual journeyer self, our seeker self, the self that has spiritual experiences, even that right now we set outside the door. Just experience the emptiness. Making a space for divine presence to be the only thing, to be the only energy. Let's acknowledge that sacred emptiness together in the silence, in the stillness. can ignore you. We can bury you under all of our cravings and attachments and ego trips. But the Sacred Mother is there, loving us, nurturing us, sustaining us, always holding us in her arms, kissing our wounds, making everything okay. Thank you, Mother God. Thank you for the love that you give us and you teach us. So it is.
Oh, Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, flowing through our hearts, we give thanks for the bread of our lives, for the hands in the earth, and the fruit of your womb. Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, thank you for this day, for the love that you wash over me, and this joy in my heart I will share with the world. Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
Oh, Mother God, blessed be.
You would think we planned that. I mean, that fits so perfectly, works so beautifully. Oh my gosh, happy Mother's Day to everyone. In honor of Mother's Day, 1, 2, 3, Jai Mata Di! 1, 2, 3, Jai Mata Di! Hail, Mother Divine. Hail, Divine Mother. I love, as I've told you before, when we take students to India and our guide has them shout that every time they get on the bus, and they have no idea that they are invoking the Divine Mother. We've been talking about the Divine Feminine, and you know, when I first started the Mary Magdalene series, I thought, maybe this should have been around Easter, but the truth is, it led right up to Mother's Day, and that is absolutely perfect. Because this Divine Feminine that we've been talking about, it can be described in a lot of different ways, and I know that everyone here has mothered. Everyone here has mothered, right? And we often attach typical, or probably better described, stereotypical qualities to the Divine Mother, to the Divine Feminine, right? But who made qualities masculine or feminine? I heard recently that anthropologists and archaeologists are rethinking their understanding of ancient humans, like we're talking prehistoric humans, because historically we talked about how the men were hunters and the women were gatherers. The men took a bow and arrow and went out and killed a mastodon, right? And the women went and plucked berries off the trees. And what they've discovered is that that understanding came from the sexism that the archaeologist and the anthropologist of the day were steeped in themselves. And there's just as much evidence that prehistoric women were hunters equally to men, right? There was no differentiation. So simply determining divine feminine and divine masculine qualities based on some outdated who does the housework, who does the yard work kind of spectrum is misleading, right? Perhaps we could say that the divine feminine looks from the heart and the divine masculine looks from the head. Both are needed. Both are important. One is not more important than the other. But the divine feminine, looking from the heart, is to encounter the world with compassion and with care, right? Leading with compassion. So did anyone do the homework from last week? Did anyone watch the movie? Awesome, awesome. I'll look forward to getting your reviews afterward. I had talked about the movie that was made, I believe, in 2017 called Mary Magdalene, starring Rooney Mara and Joaquin Phoenix. It makes it a little bit of a different watch, too, when you realize that during this movie, they fell in love and they're still together and they have 2 children. So, yeah, so Jesus and Mary did get married and have children. There are several quotes from that movie that have stayed with me, and there's one quote that best, I think, sums up the divine feminine. And it's Mary Magdalene when she and Peter are sent off and she encounters a little village where people are dying. And she says, "You're seen and heard with every act of care. You answer to God with every act of love." That is the divine feminine right there, right? You are seen and heard with every act of care. You answer to God with every act of love. I have to tell you that last week's service was incredibly moving for me. And I've heard from other people, I've even heard from people who watched it online, said it was even moving there. I got to tell you, the energy was incredible. I felt the energy of that experience fully for several days, and still now as I'm speaking about it. That importance of anointing. You know, the Christian religion has been built primarily around the ritual of communion. But Bourgeois argues that it is the ritual of anointing that is really central to the Christian experience, to the sacred experience, to the spiritual experience. And I think we felt that last week. Bourgeois defines anointing like this: an act of conscious love marking the passageway into both physical and spiritual wholeness. I don't know why that did that. I thought maybe Crystal didn't get a chance to do her little magic, but we'll see how it works out here. Hopefully everything will be fine. An act of conscious love. It felt that way to me, right? The energy went both directions in the same way that the giver of a gift receives a gift in the giving, right? I think the power for me, and I think I can speak for Amy, was profound. What we received in that moment. I encourage you to go anoint someone this week. Really, it's really powerful. You should do it. In fact, I had made an effort this morning. I was going to say I'm going to take my oil with me, make sure I always keep it at the church, so that anytime someone just feels the need for an anointing, anyone can do it. It's not me. I'm not special, right? Frank can anoint you. Ryan can anoint you. Mary Grace can anoint you. Anyone. You can anoint yourself. But at that moment, man, that moment, something about this spot, there's a reason why the Maori greet each other by touching right here. There's a reason why the Indians greet you at the door with the tilaka placed right here. There's something powerful about this spot right here, and to be touched there with holy oil for a sacred purpose is a powerful experience. I mentioned last week how powerful it was to watch Mary be empowered to baptize people with the same words that she had been baptized with by Jesus. I baptize you with water. I baptize you with light and fire. Born anew, awake, ready for the new day. Right? Oh, so powerful for me to have that happen. And so in advance of last week's anointing, I had thought of some possible things I might say when I'm anointing people. Like, I'll let the Spirit move me, but let me have a few of them in my back pocket too, just so I know what I'm going to say. So it feels like I'm prepared a little bit. All that went out the window. All I could think of when everyone came up here is with light and fire, with light and fire, with light and fire. To be baptized with light and fire, anointed in that way. What an experience. It had a profound impact on me. So it made me think of another line in that movie that stayed with me. Jesus is in the temple. This is when he goes in to flip the tables and all that kind of stuff. And they present it in a slightly different way than I'd ever seen it presented. But I went back to the Gospels and looked, and you know what? They're spot on. They are spot on with the way they presented it. And what Jesus is angry about is not just that people are buying and selling in the temple. Jesus is angry about the fact that they have commodified worship. What they're buying and selling are the sacrificial animals for people to offer as a sacrifice at the temple. The priests in the movie are covered in blood. They've been sacrificing animals. There are the little pigeon sellers over there selling pigeons, selling goats, selling whatever. And Jesus gets angry at this. And he walks right up to a priest and he says to him, "Do you think this is what God wants? Do you think this is what God wants?" And this is what he says. "Have their hearts been altered when they leave this place?" Have their hearts been altered when they leave this place? That sounds a little bit like the alchemical feminine that we talked about last week, the transformational energy that we talk about here all the time. The transformational energy of the divine feminine that binds our angels to our icons, brings our spiritual self right into our physical manifested being. The anointing of our understanding so that we are awakened to the sacred presence alive in us, as us. The Christ in me, awake, ready for the day to come, uncovered, beholds the Christ in you. I have no greater desire than to be used as Spirit wills to help people leave this place with their hearts altered. I don't want to just talk about transformation. I want transformation to happen. It's the only reason I come here. Through this study of Mary Magdalene, we learned Jesus' way of the heart, the way that he was transformed so that he could follow the path of conscious love, the path that transformed Yeshua into a Christ, just as it does with each of us. And I want us to look at those three elements again. First is kenosis. Bless you. That's kenosis right there. It's a Greek word that means to empty oneself, to completely empty oneself. I love this image of the jug being emptied of water. Notice how when it's emptied, it is still 100% jug. It didn't stop being jug. It didn't lose anything. It's just empty and ready to be filled again. When I first started hearing spiritual teachers talk about this emptiness, this concept of emptiness, I didn't really fully understand it. I kind of heard it in a negative connotation. Like somebody would walk into my spirit and go, "You've been robbed," right? There's nothing there. You've lost everything. You've lost something. Empty sounds bereft, right? Surely a loving divinity isn't going to ask me to let go of everything to the point of complete emptiness. Surely not. And you know what? She won't. She won't ask you to do anything. You do whatever you want. Hold on to it as long as you want. As long as you want. She'll be there, waiting. We think we have to give up something that brings us joy, but the paradoxical truth is we are making room for joy. That's what we're cleaning out. Let's say I want A to happen. We'll call it A. Maybe it's a trip, it's a relationship, it's a new car, it's a new house, whatever it is. I want A to happen. And I make plans for A to happen. Nothing wrong with any of that so far. We live in a material push-pull dynamic world. We have to plan for things. We are on a timeline. I want A to happen. I make plans for it to happen. But then I start craving A. I start needing A. I start seeing A as the dispenser of my joy. When I get A, I'll be happy. Living an empty life unattached doesn't mean you let go of A. It means you let go of the craving for A. It's the craving that is the attachment. And that way, if A happens, joy. If A doesn't happen, still joy. If B happens that I never even thought of, joy. It's all just joy. It's one of the reasons when I finally understood this emptiness concept, I meditate a lot with sounds of gongs and singing bowls and stuff, because I love there's something about that sound that just resonates with the emptiness. I become like a singing bowl, right? I am the singing bowl resonating with Spirit, and Spirit can play me however Spirit needs to, and it is going to just resonate. We are in tune with one another. And if I just hold on to one thing, I got this little elephant statue in India. I love it. I need this, Spirit. I'll let go of everything, but I love this. This has got to stay. This house has got to stay. This car's got to stay. This idea's got to stay. This trip's got to stay. Whatever it is. I'll let go of everything, Spirit, but I need to hold on to this. And Spirit will say, okay. And then I sit down and I try to get holy and I try to manifest and I try to live in abundance and I try to do all that kind of stuff. And that's what happens. Spirit's still there, showing up, and everything is like sounding gongs and clanking cymbals, right? I empty out so that I can resonate with Spirit. Bourgeot says, kenosis is simply the willingness to let things come and go without grabbing on. For all intents and purposes, it is synonymous with non-clinging or non-attachment. Kenosis has a certain warm spaciousness to it. It's the art of allowing. Muji says, don't set up an immigration counter for thoughts and feelings. Just let them come and go. Don't check them in and check them out. Don't be that attached to them. I feel joy right now, feel joy. I feel sad right now, feel sad. Let it happen. Let it just come and go. Don't attach to it. I might feel sad. I am sad. There's a difference, right? I feel sad and I am sad. So don't hold on to any of it. That's the freedom. Nothing can take away what you are. Be rooted in your beingness. It's just like in the meditation. Set everything outside the door, even your name. The second concept that Jesus talked about, or that Bourgeot talks about, is abundance. Kenosis, abundance. David Foster Wallace, the writer, in 2005, he gave a commencement address at Kenyon College, which has become one of the things that he's now almost most known for, even though he's a very good writer. And this is what he says to start the address. There are these two young fish swimming along, like the fish in the water. There are these two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming the other way, who nods at them and says, "Morning, boys. How's the water?" And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and says, "What the hell is water?" Right? Does a fish know what water is? Right? In the same kind of way, we empty a little bit of the water out of our jug to help us become aware that we are swimming in a sea of spiritual abundance. Abundance, there's all kinds, you can follow all kinds of abundance teachers, and they're all great. I don't discount any of them. You can follow all kinds of abundance teachers, find which one has the key. Let me find that, oh, this one does this way, this one holds their mouth this way, this one does. Let me tell you what the key is. The key is uncover the abundance you already live in. You already have everything. Empty yourself so that that can rush in. Right? So that that can rush in. Have you ever taken a bucket, I know you have, in a pool or in the ocean or something like this when you were a kid, and you push the bucket down, the bottom's down here, and you push the bucket down in the water, and then when you get to the water rushes in. Spirit is waiting for your empty self so that it can rush in with everything. Everything you need, everything you want. We don't even realize we're swimming in it. Sometimes we get sidetracked into believing that abundance is all about money. Nothing wrong with money. Ocean water is made up of this complex mixture that includes water, of course, and salts and atmospheric gases and particulates and some other scientific words. It contains magnesium and bromine and sodium chloride, sulfate, calcium, potassium, carbon, strontium, fluoride, phosphorus, nitrogen, oxygen, argon. And I think that focusing on money alone when we talk about abundance is like only being interested in the potassium in the ocean. Yes, it runs out throughout the whole ocean. It's an important element in the ocean, but relatively insignificant in the big scheme of things, right? Money is energy. We know that. It's a form of energy that we learn to flow with. It's part of the ocean. And because it is so measurable, it becomes a material way for us to demonstrate manifested abundance. See, I'm a good manifester. Look at my bank account. Whatever. Maybe I'm a good manifester because I live in joy this week. Man, I lived in joy. Manifested that all week long. I don't discount money's importance in our world. We have built a world that makes money super important. And I pray showers of financial blessings on all of you, on us, on me, on all of us. I pray that for all of us. But I also know that in regard to your essence, your spirit, your divinity, anything material is ultimately meaningless. Let it, too, come and go without holding on to it. I've mentioned this quote from Bourgeois a couple of times. I'm going to put the whole thing up here. Hopefully it shows up okay. It doesn't. That's okay. I don't know why, but I'll just read it to you. The kenosis Jesus has in mind is a direct gateway into a divine reality that can be immediately experienced as both compassionate and infinitely generous. Abundance surrounds and sustains us like the air we breathe. It is only our habitual self-protectiveness that prevents us from perceiving it. Thus, the real problem with any constrictive motion, taking, defending, hoarding, clinging, is that it makes us spiritually blind, unable to see the dance of divine generosity that is flowing toward us. Such a beautiful, succinct, man, I tell you what, it's going to be my next tattoo. It's all three of those sentences right there. This is the flow we often talk about. Being in the flow is to be constantly emptying oneself while becoming awake to the understanding that we are filled to overflowing. It's pouring out the water so we can swim in the ocean. It's cleaning out the bowl so that our vibrational energy can sing Spirit's song, so that we can resonate with the divine. The third element of Jesus' path to consciousness, kenosis, abundance, and oneness. They called it singleness in the Gnostic Gospels, and Bourgeois refers to it as that. This singleness is when you are able to make the two become one, the inside like the outside like the inside, the higher like the lower. And another word for this, of course, is unity. Oneness, unity. And sometimes we struggle with this because we think about unity or oneness in the way of how do we see all of us as one? Well, I look out there and I see a lot of different people. How can we all be one? And we struggle with that. But let's start from a much more local place. The idea of Yeshua as the single one, the unified one, begins with a unity within. Right? we have to first bind our angels to our icons. We have to look inside of ourselves and all those layers of us, see the oneness there. The singleness, the oneness within us. And when we do that, seeing oneness with the rest of the world is not difficult any longer. In fact, it may not be avoidable. You may not be able to avoid it at all once I understand the wholeness that I am within me. Adyashanti, the Zen master, says spirituality is about waking up from the dream of separation to the truth of unity. It's about waking up from thirst to realize you swim in the ocean. It's about understanding that abundance is not something you manifest, you make, you create. It's something you realize. It's something that is already around you. It's the full integration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine into the awake, aware, fully unified self. And that's why we exist. We exist here to wake up to this understanding, to share this message, to shine this light, to offer this kind of care to the soul. The divine feminine is about providing the space and the compassion and the nurturing for growth to happen. Isn't that what mothers do? So I want to share with you something that I was going to share with leadership this past Wednesday, but our meeting got sidetracked. Let me tell you why our meeting got sidetracked. This is my house. And so the front of the house is on the left there, and you can see there that water is about 6 inches deep. It did not get into the house, thank goodness. The middle part there, that is just a river running. It's coming right up to my shed, which doesn't. All of these are taken from my porch, standing right outside my door. That right picture is the edge of my fence, and the edge of the fence is about 6 inches underwater, but right next to that is a rock wall that goes straight down about 4 feet to the drainage ditch. So right there is about 6 feet of water, 5 or 6 feet of water. I get to put all new ductwork in my house. Yay! That's fun. This is why we didn't have, it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. Maybe the guy who puts in the ductwork is going to start coming to church and he's going to give us a lot of money. All right, so, because he'll have a lot of money because I'm giving it to him. All right. But here's a couple reasons why I'm okay with going ahead and sharing this with you today. First off, I've already shared it with the Executive Council, so I'm not going totally rogue here. Right. Secondly, our organization puts members at the very top. Right? Membership at the very top. And third, I'm following Spirit. Spirit's been talking to me about this for a couple of weeks, well, more than a couple of weeks. And in the interest of caring for our spiritual home and creating a legacy that will outlive us and bringing in the divine feminine energy, I want to just unveil to you an idea about a 6-month capital campaign. Now, that sounds boring. The whole energy in the room just went, right? First off, unclench whatever muscles just clenched. The first thing that will happen, I'll get to this in just a second. The first thing that will happen is that we need to put together a committee. I hate the word committee. Hate it with all my heart. So I tried to think of a different one, a team, a work group, a task force. I looked for all these different words, and they're all kind of overused. I looked up in the thesaurus, Congress. That's what right? And so I decided, well, what about all these collective nouns for animals? Could we be a herd of something, right? Maybe we're like, they call it a memory of elephants. Right? They call it a surfeit of skunks. I thought about our little skunk friend out here. So then once I thought about the skunk friend, I thought, what animal represents transformation, what we're talking about? And of course, when I looked that up, the first thing that came was butterfly. Butterfly. Do you know what the collective noun for butterfly is? A kaleidoscope of butterflies. So I think we might have to put together a kaleidoscope, which is a beautiful metaphor because it's lots of different little ways of seeing something that all see it slightly differently but move in a kinetic fashion to make one image, oneness. So the first job of that kaleidoscope will be to come up with a different name than that. Now, when we talk about money, people tend to get tensed up. No one's going to ask for your money. The biggest problem that we have around money and organizations like this is that we live in the flow and then we talk about money, right? And money needs to be like this too. Just needs to be like this, right? No one's going to ask for your money. No one's going to pressure you. We don't do that. What I do hope we do is that we teach kenosis and abundance and oneness so well that you are listening to the divine, and the divine will tell you what to do, right? That's all of our source anyway. The flow, your flow, is none of my business. Also, the how is none of our business, so we're not going to worry about that. We show up, we act in faithfulness, we keep moving forward. Spirit will take care of the rest. Part of the purpose behind this idea is that objects at rest tend to stay at rest, and objects in motion tend to stay in motion, and we are the change agents who are here to put things in motion. We could wiggle our nose and jump forward in time 1 year and look around and go, everything is all the same. Okay, fine. Or we could look around and go, we did some things. But we did some things isn't usually something that happens kind of magically, like lightning striking, right? We can put a plan in motion and see what happens, always knowing that we allow things to come and go. So what kind of plan? Let me give you 3 things really quickly that I believe have shown up as priorities for our community and in our leadership. One is curb appeal. Have y'all noticed the new redo over there next door? Doesn't it look nice? Do you know that nobody has ever pulled into our driveway and said, doesn't this look nice? Actually, it does. We look pretty nice, okay, but there's some issues we have, right? Number 1 is that parking lot. It's an accessibility issue, but it's also an appearance issue. We've got a bent sign out there, right? So I'm talking about everything outside, the exterior, repaved parking, expanding the parking lot. We need to be thinking about where we are in terms of our growth and our ability to be the divine and feminine for the world around us, right? I mentioned last week to Steph, I said something about, yeah, we need to expand the parking. Some folks might need to release their attachment to that tree out there. And then you see what happened to the tree out there this week. I'm a heck of a manifester. I just don't know what to tell you. I'm really good at it, all right? We might need some fencing changes, new signage, new door, paint the brick, something like that. The second thing I'll throw out there is our youth. Steph is amazing. Our kids are amazing. Sometimes we have as many kids here as we do people, and then we shove them into one end of our lobby. It's the only space we have. We give them the only space we have. We love them. They know we love them. But how might we show them? Perhaps a building addition. I'm thinking even an addition off that side heading up towards the, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. And then one thing I learned when we built a new building at the college is that every time you add something on, you have to think about backfill. And I think about that office over there being an administrative office and giving our music team and our minister a little bit more space back here, more storage space. Just some thoughts. That'd be fairly simple. The third thing that I think is a priority is our own expansion, right? I love this Big Bang picture, the natural order of the universe to expand. The universe is built that way. You've heard me talk about relocating the kitchen to the center room. It's my goal. I put it last for a reason. I'm not attached. I'm not attached. If we turn around a year from now and nothing has happened, I am not attached. Still joy, right? But relocating that kitchen, plumbing and electrical alterations, we can reuse a lot of that. We could build a permanent stage in here. We can expand, put the AV and the sound back there so that we become a little bit more, a little bit open for a few more people. Of course, all of this sounds like a lot, but we're here to be a beacon of spiritual expansion. And if we are who we say we are, then the physical manifestation of expansion should be right in alignment with our expanding consciousness, period. I've got a minister friend who has a smaller congregation than we have, fewer members than we have. And coming out of COVID, they just bought a piece of land and are building a new sanctuary. It can be done. But here's what I've seen this organization before try to raise funds and other organizations, and I'm going to give you a little caveat here, a little warning. I've seen it try to raise funds, and when it didn't happen, people dive into a list of reasons, right? Well, we're not vibrating with the abundance energy. Well, the finance team doesn't have a prosperity consciousness, right? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to play the blame game. We are not going to do any of that. We're not going to sit here and wonder why we're not holding our mouth right, or doing anything. We are going to be in the flow. We're going to have this spiritual experience of living in the flow no matter what that means. I want to leave you with 3 quick thoughts about this. 3 quotes. Number 1 from Doris Lessing. Whatever you're meant to do, do it now. The conditions are always impossible. I think this is perfect for Mother's Day. How many of you have ever heard, don't ever wait till you're ready to have a baby. You'll never be ready. Right? Whatever you're meant to do, do it now. The conditions are always impossible. We could come up with a lot of reasons why not. Some of us who've been around for a while might even hear this and go, well, wait a minute. What about what we're already bringing in every month? What about what about stop. Just stop. Right? Let's just start. Just start and see where Spirit leads us. Spirit, we're ready. We're ready to expand. Here's a Rumi quote. What you seek is seeking you. Abundance is not hard. I know that's easy for you to say, Deb, because you've got the money to put in new ductwork in your house. No, I'm looking in the mirror right now. Abundance is not hard. We just have to uncover it and remember we're swimming in it. Awakening is not hard. We just have to uncover the Divine Mother that lives in us all the time. Maybe what we seek, or maybe what is seeking us, can't see past all of our attachments that we have. And maybe we can't see it because we've got all these attachments in the way. What we as a spiritual community seek and want for our community, our local community, ourself, what we want is seeking us. It's yearning for us. We seek to create a space where people leave with their hearts altered. We don't want to just talk about transformation. We want to be change agents. Spirit, we are ready to align our hearts with yours. We want to be a beacon of light and fire. The last quote I'll leave you with came from the movie. The world will change as we change. The larger world, yes, but our immediate world too. The world around us, the physical reality of this space, the spiritual reality of this space. I didn't present this idea to you. And by the way, you might feel like, well, the first part of the service was really spiritual, and then Deb started talking about building stuff. It's all spirit. All of this is spirit. That's my job through any of this, is to keep us reminded that all of this is spirit. Everything about this is spirit. I didn't present this idea to you because I have some desire for us to be bigger and better and more grandiose. If a year passes and everything looks the same, that's fine. If a year from now we look back and go, remember that time Rev Deb talked about a capital campaign? Wasn't that hilarious? That's fine. I'll still be in joy, right? We don't need anything to happen. We are unattached, but we plan in order to be faithful, and we move forward in order to stay in the flow, and we expand because our consciousness is built that way. And if we do anything else, we're going backwards. We don't need anything to change, but we're going to change the world anyway. We can't help it because we're in the business of spiritual transformation, and as we change, the world will change. Let's just do some of it intentionally. Jai Mata Di.
I think this is probably a good time for me as board president to say that all of your donations are tax exempt. So you can write them off at the end of the year. So there's a bonus. So I just thought I would throw that in. Well, we are grateful. We are a grateful bunch of people, aren't we? Let's talk about mothers today, since we are talking about the divine feminine and our feminine sides and our mothers. And I want to say that I am grateful for my mother because she has taught me so much about how to just be good at living life, about not struggling through life, but how to make life easier, right? Because life is hard, right? And so all of those things that mothers do, they teach us all these little life hacks. If you do this, then you're not going to have to do that, right? Or how far kindness can get you. You know, it's like, well, why would you say it that way? If you say it with this little slice of kindness in it, you know what? People are going to understand what you're talking about a lot better. So what things have your mothers taught you? And this doesn't mean genetic DNA mothers. This means all mothers, because I've had probably 10 in my lifetime, right? So what have you learned from mothers that has affected your life? Be creative. Don't be afraid, you know. Just go out there and create.
I am always loved.
You're always loved. Can't think of anything better than a mother could teach you, right? What else have our mothers taught us? Love without limits. Love just to love. Just to love. Yeah, count your blessings and help others be blessed. Speak your truth. Don't be afraid to speak your truth.
My mom taught me how to be a mom. And she watched an online said,
Happy Mother's Day. Moms that taught us how to be a mom. Wow. I just realized, you know, it sounds crazy, but moms teach us about responsibility, you know, and you kind of need to be at least a little responsible to have a successful life, right? Anybody, anything else?
giving back.
Giving back. Moms teach us that giving back is so important. And I was raised as a preacher's son, so I got a triple dose of that, right? Cooperation, collaboration.
Kids are fighting and the mom's like, work together.
That's right.
A together shirt for you.
They bang your heads together so that you'll cooperate. Consequences. Oh my goodness, that is so important to learn from your mother. Consequences for your actions. Yep. Hopefully done in a kind way. Anybody, anything else? Well, as Reverend Deb said just a few minutes ago, we do live in this world of infinite abundance. So I want to switch our gratitude song today. You are reading this behind me and you see that. And I noticed that we've got new QR codes posted, so anytime you're ready to do that, you can just go there or in the lobby there and do your QR code there too. But what's our next slide say? All right, let's say this together and then we'll sing about our infinite abundance. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I choose to give and all that I'm open to receive. So it is. Let's sing about infinite abundance. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life. I live in the midst of infinite abundance, and life gives back to me. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life. I live in the midst of infinite abundance, and life gives back to me. And life gives back to me. All right, I want to let everybody know that we're going to honor the divine feminine in all of us by giving you a flower on the way out. The youth are going to take this beautiful bouquet of roses outside, and as you leave, you'll get a rose on your way out. So I want to remind everyone also to check the What's Happening newsletter to find out what's going on in your spiritual community. And let's all stand together, say the prayer for protection as we prepare to leave. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
all around the neighborhood,
I'm gonna let it shine.
all around the neighborhood,
I'm gonna let it shine.
all around the neighborhood,
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
let it shine, 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 let it shine. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.